This is a video showing how to zero a force acceleration sensor within SparkView. On my screen now, I have a run of data with the force sensor without any attachments on it. So you can see there's some variation around a mean value. However, there's really no trending to this value. So this lets me know that my force sensor has been properly warmed up. I'm now going to stop data collection here. At the bottom of the screen, I have a live display of data. If I click on this, I can now click on Zero Sensor Now. Now when I check the live values, these are very, very close to zero. And I'll go ahead and click on the Start button again. Once again, I don't have any attachments attached to it. So this lets me know that my sensor is truly zeroed. Some other checks that I can do is I need to make sure that my sensor is zeroed in the orientation that it's going to be used in. For instance, if I change the orientation of the sensor, I'm not actually placing any load on it. The self-weight of the sensing element can actually cause a displacement of values because there is a deflection of the sensing element simply because of the weight of the device itself. Or if I rotate it 180 degrees, we can also see there's a displacement here. So it's critical that you place the sensor in the orientation that it will be used in prior to zeroing the sensor. Next, what I'm going to do after I've placed it in the orientation that I'm going to use it in, I'm going to very carefully attach the attachment to it that I'm going to be using. By doing this while I'm actively collecting data, this will let me know if I'm putting any undue load on my sensor. So in this case, I'm going to be inserting in the hook into my force acceleration sensor. So I am going to advance this. You can see the forces that are incidentally being placed on it as I'm threading this into the load cell. So it's stopped. I'm going to place it back in its original orientation. And you can see that there is a displacement on the force that's being exerted. This lets me know that I may have over-tightened it, so I'm going to slightly loosen the force sensor, and you can see that the force level has jumped back up to zero. So once I've done that, I can see that I'm fairly close to zero, so that there's no preload on that I can see. However, I have added some mass to my system. So once I can see that I'm pretty close to zero again, and there's some tools that we can use here to zoom in. You can see we're pretty close to zero again. What I will again do is down here, I'll click on the force sensor and zero sensor now. So it goes back to the zero level. I'll go ahead and click on stop. So I can do one more check on this to make sure that I'm pretty close to zero. With my hook attached to my sensor, I can see that I'm pretty stable around a zero reading, and it lets me know that I'm ready to start collecting data.